Hi and Assalamualaikum to fellow classmates. My name is Wanur Afrina binti Wan Imran.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Suhail Hamdi and I am going to explain about the climate in Africa south of Sahara.
Hi everyone, my name is Muhammad Ilyas Khan bin Nur Zaman. So today I will explain about the current issue and the economic challenges of Africa south of Sahara.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Ajala binti Fauzi. Today I will present the sub-region of Africa south of Sahara.
We would like to present about the region of Africa south of the Sahara. As an introduction, the continent of Africa south of the Sahara encompasses the majority of the world's second largest continent. This area serves as the cradle of humanity. Only Africa has skeletons of the earliest known species, Homo sapiens, and its inhabitants have far more genetic diversity than the rest of the world's population. People on other continents are almost certainly derived from a group of Homo sapiens who left Africa following the initial phase of human genetic diversification. Over 800 million people live in modern-day Africa. From plains to rift valleys and mountains, Africa's natural landscapes south of the Sahara are diverse and beautiful. Its ecosystem includes tropical rainforests, savanna grasslands, and desert, thus its climates range from tropical arid to equatorial rainy. These landscapes are largely made up of ancient rocks that hold some of the world's largest reserve of bauxite for aluminium, cobalt, copper, gold, and diamonds, as well as newly valued platinum and coltan. A rising amount of oil is being discovered near the coast. This region has a rich history and a richness of natural resources, but it is also one of the poorest in the world and has significant challenges in engaging the global economic system. Slavery, colonialism, and ethnic divides legacies have had severe effects on present political, economic, and social situations. Next, I'm going to explain about the map of the region. Africa south of the Sahara includes all African countries and territories that are wholly or partially south of the Sahara according to the United Nations. While the UN Geosphere for Africa excludes Sudan from its definition of sub-Saharan Africa, the African Union's definition includes Sudan but not Mauritania. Although they are members of the Arab League, the Comoros, Djibouti, Somalia, and the Arab-majority Mauritania, and occasionally the Sudan, are geographically considered portions of sub-Saharan Africa. Algeria, Djibouti, Egypt, Libya, Morocco, Somalia, the Sudan, and Tunisia are not listed as sub-Saharan countries by the United Nations Development Programme.
I'm going to explain about the climate in Africa south of Sahara. The Sahara is dominated by two climatic regimes, a dry subtropical climate in the north and dry tropical climate in the south. The dry subtropical climate is characterized by unusually high annual cold to cold winters and hot summers and two raining maximums. The annual range of average daily temperature is about 36 Fahrenheit or 20 Celsius. For the zone as a whole, average monthly temperatures during the cold season are approximately 55 Fahrenheit or 13 Celsius. Although the rain is highly variable, it averages about 3 inches or about 76 millimeters per year. Most rain falls from December through March. Another maximum occurs in August, characterized by thunderstorms. These storms can cause tremendous flash flood that rush into areas where no raining has fallen. Little falls in May and June. Dry tropical climate to the south is dominated by the same high pressure cells, but it is regularly influenced by the seasonal interaction of a stable continental subtropical air mass and a southerly. The annual range in average daily temperature in the dry tropical regions of the Sahara is approximately 31.5 Fahrenheit or 17.5 Celsius. Average temperatures for the coldest months are essentially the same as they are for the subtropical zone to the north. Late spring and early summer are hot, high temperature of 122 Fahrenheit or 15 Celsius are not unusual for them. Although the massif of the dry tropic often receives small quantities of raining throughout the year, the lowlands have a single summer maximum. As in the north, much of this rainfall occurs as a thunderstorm.
I will explain about the environmental problems happen in Africa south of the Sahara. The first problem we have drought and desertification. Water resources range from abundant in the Congo River Basin to poor in many locations with seasonal rains, frequent droughts, or aridity. Water scarcity reduces crop productivity and reduces the efficiency of hydropower projects. Since 1970, the Sahel zone has experienced increased droughts resulting in overgrazing and the destruction of woody species for firewood. It resulted in the deaths of large number of livestock in Western Africa and Chad, as well as local famine. The underlying cause of most droughts can be related to changing weather patterns manifested through the excessive buildup of heat on the Earth's surface, meteorological changes which resulted in a reduction of rainfall and reduced cloud cover, of all which results in greater evaporation rates. The resultant effects of droughts are caused by human activity such as deforestation, overgrazing, and poor cropping methods which reduce water retention of the soil and improper soil conservation techniques which lead to soil degradation. Desertification is caused by multiple direct and indirect factors. It occurs because drylands ecosystems are extremely vulnerable to overexploitation and inappropriate land use that result in underdevelopment of economies and in entrenched poverty among the affected population. Whereas overcultivation, inappropriate agricultural practice, overgrazing, and deforestation have been previously identified as the major causes of land degradation and desertification, it is in fact as a result of much deeper underlying forces of socio-economic nature such as poverty and total dependency of natural resources of survival by the poor. It is also true to reiterate that desertification problems are best understood within the dictates of disparity of income and access to ownership of resources. The next problem we have is soil quality losses. Many tropical soils are deficient in nutrients or difficult to work with basic tools. One of the most widespread challenges in Africa is the degradation of soil quality and workability as a result of agriculture. The elimination of forest cover in the Ethiopian highlands, for example, resulted in fast soil erosion, causing people to relocate and putting further strains on already scarce land resources. Soil exposure in seasonal rainy locations may cause the soil to harden into laterite, which is resistant to ploughing. Overgrazing of slow-growing vegetation and the removal of woody trees for firewood expose soil to water and wind erosion in semi-arid environments. Soil deterioration, which is linked to poor soil fertility management techniques, is a major contributor in sub-Saharan Africa's low agricultural production. Approximately 65% of agricultural land has been damaged, owing to insufficient nutrient application, soil erosion, and acidity. Increased fertilizer use and balanced nutrient management together with a variety of organic matter inputs offer the highest chances of reversing soil degradation. The third environmental problem happened in Africa south of the Sahara is threatened wildlife. Africa is home to a diverse range of animals with more charismatic megafauna species than any other continent. Unfortunately, as human populations grow, so does their demand for land, food, and water, which is compounded by poaching. As a result, more and more species are becoming endangered. There are fewer and fewer places where they can call home these days. As Africa's forests, rivers, and land disappear, habitat loss is becoming evident as the greatest threat to species. Expanding logging, farming, and poaching pose a threat to tropical African flora and fauna. The severity of the issue varies by location. In Kenya, For example, elephants were killed for their ivory tusks, resulting in a population decline and international movement to outlaw the ivory trade in the late 90s. Meanwhile, stronger conservation efforts in southern Africa led in a rise of the elephant populations, which eventually outgrew the land's carrying capacity, forcing governments to implement annual culls. The ivory from the culls fills several warehouses, but is unable to be sold due to a worldwide ban. The list of those endangered animals is Ethiopian wolf, pangolin, black rhino, white rhino, mountain gorilla, African wild dog, and many more. The last environmental problems happen in this region is killer tropical disease. These common infectious killers in Africa accounting for almost 80% of the total infectious disease burden and killing more than 6 million people each year. Tropical disease remain one of Africa's biggest environmental challenge for people and food production, despite tremendous effort and breakthroughs in healthcare. Malaria, river blindness, and other tropical climate-related human disease remain endemic, while cholera flares up on occasion. Because of the prevalence of sleeping sickness in human and significant CC fly infestation in cattle, some sections of savanna grasslands have relatively low populations. People fleeing the threat seek refuge in river valleys, where they are attacked by river blindness. In the shadow of HIV and AIDS, which weakens immune system, diseases like measles and tuberculosis are resurfacing. Many previously fatal diseases can now be cured thanks to advances in immunology and antibiotics. New lethal viruses such as Ebola, which struck the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1995, continue to emerge, causing widespread alarm. Other major diseases continue to kill more people than the Ebola virus. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, for example, sleeping sickness kills 200,000 people each year. Because of the constant risk of infection from aquatic disease, death rates remain higher than in other regions of the world. Malnutrition and disease resistance are reduced in many parts of Africa due to a lack of sufficient food.
Now, I will dive into the history and culture in Africa south of Sahara. In this segment, there is 3 subtopics that I present, which is ethnic diversity and shared cultures, African group and empire, and lastly, Muslim in the north and east. To begin, let me give you a little introduction to African history and cultures. For your information, Africa is the first generation of first human culture. African was mixed with Arabs, Asian, and European, and that is now called African south of Sahara. The first point, ethnic diversity and shared culture. The members of ethnic group forming the basic social and political unit of the native people share kinship, territorial links, language and culture. For example, Maasai, Niger Congo, Bantu, and the Afro-Asiatic. European colonists sometimes call this group as tribes, which means like a group of people usually related family who live together or sharing the same culture, language, and else. The great diversity of religions includes many versions of traditional animistic religion, Islamic and Christianity. More than 1,000 languages are spoken in Africa south of Sahara, include Nilo-Saharan language in the north, Khoisan language in the far south, and Swahili in Eastern Africa.
Next, I'm going to explain about the organization in the Africa south of the Sahara. Political, economic, social organization and institute in Africa is as follows. First, we have Africa Summit. The mission of the Africa Society, a direct outgrowth of the National Summit on Africa, is to educate all Americans about Africa and its people, to build bridges of understanding and partnership, and to facilitate the continent's social development and political transition to more open, democratic societies. Second, we have African Diaspora Policy Center. The African Diaspora Policy Center, ADPC, enables African diaspora in Europe to connect more closely with the continents as a collective social and political force. The third one, we have the African National Congress. The ANC is a national liberation movement. It was formed in 1912 to unite the African people and spearhead the struggle for fundamental political, social, and economic change. The fourth one, we have African Union. In African Union, political union supporting Africa in a global economy while addressing multi-phase social, economic, and political problems. Fifth one, we have Codesria. Codesria was established in 1973 as an independent Pan-Africa research organization with a primary focus on the social science, broadly defined. Next, we have Economic Community of Central Africa State, ECAS, organization to promote regional economic cooperation in Central Africa. 7, we have Economic Community of West African State, ECOWAS, regional group of 15 African countries charged with promoting integration in all fields of economic activities. Next, we have myafricandiaspora.com. myafricandiaspora.com was born out of an intense desire to bridge the gap between peoples of African descent separated by the transatlantic slave trade. The other organization that we have here is Southern African Development Community, SADC. Group of South African states working to achieve economic development, alleviate poverty, enhance the quality of life of the peoples of Southern Africa. The 10th organization happened to be in the region Africa South of the Sahara is Trans-Africa Forum. Trans-Africa Forum is a non-profit organization dedicated to educating the general public, particularly African Americans, on the economic, political, and moral ramification of U.S. foreign policy as it affects Africa and the diaspora in the Caribbean and Latin America. Next, we have United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. Regional arm of the United Nations mandate to support the economic and social development of its 53 member states. The second last organization we have here is Western Hemisphere African Diaspora Network. WHADN mission is to encourage and facilitate the utilization of the collective talents and resources of the African diaspora in the Americas and Caribbean to advance the collective interests of Africans on the continent and throughout the diaspora. The last organization we have here is Women of the African Diaspora. Resources for women and African descent.
There are three big current issues that happen in the Africa south of Sahara. Firstly, it is the crimes that happen in this place. Nowadays, the crimes increase from time to time. We could say that these places are dangerous. As an example, the increasing of mass shooting happen especially at the grocery store. Then, the people also not trust their police. It is because the police also treating the people in this place disrespectfully. Secondly, the employment of the people. The people in this place have low skill to do a job. It is because there are lack of education, so many companies cannot hire them to fulfill the job. Lastly, it is the corruption. This place also has high corruption that happen. As we know, the people are lack of money, so the corruption are very easy to happen in this place. But the result of a corruption, there will be many bad things will happen to this place. The economic challenges in Africa south of Sahara. Firstly, it is the fiscal crisis. As we know, these places are slipping into a major debt crisis. It is bad to the economy if the debt are increasing. As we know that instead of the money can be invested to the society will be used to repair their debt. There will be many pleasure to pay the debt that causing the economy growth slowly. Secondly, It is the underinvestment in their infrastructure. The infrastructure in a place are very important for the economy. There are many places to provide the fund, such as the roads, telecommunication, electricity, water, and many other things. We cannot complete a work or business in a place that lack of infrastructure. So, it will be a barrier to growth and economy to the place. Thirdly, the failure in the government will make a bad impact to the economy. As we can see, there are many times that the leadership changes in this place. Different leadership have a different agenda and strategy. If the government change, frequently causing different way of strategies, it will take a long period of time to adopt a different strategy. So it is also giving a harm to the economy. Lastly, the climate change that happened. We know that the climate is in the power of God. So we cannot change it. But as we know, a place that vulnerable to climate change will threatening the economy. This place also having the climate change as the problem in the economy. It is because when the weather is hot, in their place the weather become extremely hot. It will harm their health. So that's are the economy challenges that happen in Africa south of Sahara.
There are four subregions in Africa south of Sahara, which is Central Africa, Western Africa, Eastern Africa, and Southern Africa. Central Africa, defined by the United Nations subregion, consists of the following countries, which is Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, Republic of Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, Central African Republic, Chad, Burundi, and Rwanda. This region covers the equator and contains the Congo Basin with the second largest rainforest in the world. There are three main ethnic groups in Central Africa, which is Baya, Manja, and Baka. The Baya are people of western region of Central African Republic, East Central Cameroon, the north of the Republic of Congo, and the northwest of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Manja are an ethnic group found in central region of the Central African Republic. They are related to the Baya people. They number approximately 250,000 people. Lastly, the Baka are minority group in the Central African Republic and Northwest Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Baka speak Baka language and have a population of roughly 300,000 of people. Next subregion is Western Africa. The West Africa United Nations subregion includes the following countries: Nigeria, Guinea-Bissau, The Gambia, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Guinea, Mauritania, Senegal, Mali, Togo, Benin, Sierra Leone, and Niger. The region has a long history of post-colonial civil wars that have created an obstacle to economic development. In recent years, peace has widely been achieved with the signing of treaties. In Western Africa, there were two main ethnic groups that include Hausa and Yoruba. The Hausa are an Sahelian people chiefly located in the West African regions of northern Nigeria and southeastern Niger. Meanwhile, Yoruba people are an West African ethnic group that mainly inhabits parts of Nigeria, Benin, and Togo that constitute Yoruba land. The Yoruba constitute more than 46 million people in Africa. Moving on to Eastern Africa, the United Nations subregion of East Africa consists of Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. These countries include some of the poorest nations in the world. The largest ethnic group in Eastern Africa is the Oromo Cushitic speakers who occupy much of southern Ethiopia, and the related Somali, who occupy all of the Somalia, southeastern Ethiopia, and much of Djibouti. Last subregion is Southern Africa. Southern Africa consists of Namibia, Angola, Mozambique, Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, South Africa, Lesotho, Swaziland, and Madagascar. The region is rich in valuable mineral deposits. The discovery of gold and diamond in the 18th century by colonial powers contribute to the violent conflicts and apartheid. Today, the region is the most developed of Africa. However, it suffers the highest percentage of world's AIDS infection. Ethnic groups in Southern Africa are as shown. Black South African ethnicities native distribution is found across countries neighboring South Africa. The Basotho are the majority ethnic group of Lesotho. The Swana ethnic group constitute the majority of the population of Botswana. The Swazi ethnic group is the majority ethnic group in Swaziland, and the Tsonga ethnic group is also found in southern Mozambique. They are also known as Shangaan. The economic activities in all subregions are quite the same, which are agriculture, logging and fishing, mining and industrialization. In agriculture activity, farming is the main economic activity in Africa south of the Sahara. More than two-thirds of the working population is involved in some form of agriculture. Some countries still depend on single crop economies. Others, however, produce a variety of agricultural goods. A small percentage of the population works at commercial farming, in which farms produce crops on a large scale. These cash these cash crops are grown and sold for profit. Most commercial farms, such as those in Zimbabwe and South Africa, are large foreign-owned plantations. They supply palm oil, peanuts, cocoa, and sisal, a vegetable fiber used in rope, to the world. Logging creates serious consequences, but the lumber industry maintains a relatively small output. Logging in the region accounts for less than 10% of the world's lumber supply. Coastal countries with rainforests such as Gabon and Cote d'Ivoire do export significant amounts of valuable hardwoods such as Rhodesian teak, ebony, African walnut, and rosewood. Commercial fishing also represents only a small portion of the region's economic activity. Few countries build and support commercial fishing fleets. Africa also has a very narrow continental shelf and shallow ocean area near the coast that usually contains abundant fish. Along the southwestern coast, however, commercial fishing vessels catch, catch herring, sardines, and tuna for export. The region faces many obstacles to industrialization, including the lack of skilled workers. Educational systems are still developing, and more people must gain new skills through new skills through training programs. Hydroelectric resources are plentiful but untapped, and power shortage occur. Political conflicts interrupt economic planning and divert resources from development projects. Some countries must import food for growing populations.